part 1, I already broke down victimology, behavioral patterns, and behavioral signature. One thing that I really want to add, because I feel like I didn't touch base on it enough last video, is disposal behavior. So across all the cases, body parts were found in remote locations, scattered everywhere. So in less populated areas that someone would normally go to. Automatically, this is going to tell us something about environmental control. Most likely means that the offender knows the area and is using the scattered body parts to diminish evidence. And it may suggest that they're moving victims or the remains themselves. Now, the avoiding evidence part, even though you're going to pick up some body parts, you don't have the full piece. So you're only going to have partial evidence, and if any at all, if it's touched by wildlife. But essentially you can tell that he or she is trying to avoid detection. So now you have to think about not only what he or she did to the victims, but also what they're doing with the bodies. It's not just about what they did to the victims, but it's also looking at the environment to see how they're trying to control the crime. Now in this part 2, I'm going to talk about whether the murderer was organized or disorganized, because that's going to tell us a lot about an offender. So now we're taking victimology, patterns, and disposal and thinking, what is this telling me about the offender? In profiling, offenders are typically labeled as organized or disorganized. Organized offenders plan, control, and avoid detection, while disorganized offenders act impulsively and leave way more chaos behind. This case strongly points to an organized murderer. And it sounds weird because even though someone's dismembering, you're like, how is that organized at all? It's scattered everywhere and you're literally ripping limbs off. But it's a controlled approach. You got to think about everything. The victims were voluntarily getting into a vehicle for hitchhiking. So that shows the offender's social ability and control. It's not something that was an impulsive force to do against them. Most likely, because we don't know that yet 100%, right? But the fact that it's happening to so many people, and again, hitchhiking was very popular in 1972 to 1973, we're going to assume in this case that he's sweet talking. Oh, I'll give you a ride. I'll take you here and there. The bodies being moved and scattered everywhere, that shows planning, mobility, and familiarity with the area. If you remember from a previous video, this is called martyring. Dismembering and scattering remains everywhere also does delay identification of the victims. So again, it's an intentional effort to avoid detection. Overall, we're having consistent patterns across each crime with victim type, approach, and postmortem behavior with the lots of control and planning went into this. And to repeatedly commit crimes like this and not get caught, it shows like a level of normalcy in someone's life. They're able to socially adapt. Even though the methods of killing changed, the structure of the crime remained the same. It was very organized. So based on the evidence, it's not impulsive or chaotic behavior so far. It's structured, controlled, and intentional, which aligns with an organized offender. Stay tuned for part 3 tomorrow.